The RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what is going on, good kind people? Checking out an all new, the RCWR Show, covering the latest in all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Here we are for Wednesday night of April 7th, 2021. It is night 3 of 8. I repeat, it is night 3 of 8. As we are bringing you for the next 8 consecutive nights, new shows. Everything culminating to night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania, and then we're wrapping it up next Monday night as it's the Raw After WrestleMania post-show edition of the RCWR Show. So here we are, night 3 of 8. I did watch AEW Dynamite tonight, and I got to tell you guys off the break, I was kind of battling it off and on for about an hour, almost 90 minutes. And I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do the show for this week. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to just solely talk NXT or if I wanted to just do, the usual show. But I kind of felt, you know what, we're talking Takeover. It's kind of like their special pay-per-view event type of deal. You know what, let me go ahead. So tonight we're doing things a bit, you guys are probably not used to it, but tonight only we're going to talk NXT. That's all we're going to talk about is NXT night 1. Thursday night, we're pretty much going to do the same thing. We're going to talk NXT night 2 Fallout. But then Friday, remember, I'm supposed to be doing a special Friday edition of the RCWR Show for you guys. I will gladly sound off about Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. I'll also have things to say about this week's respected AEW Dark and Elevation. We'll talk NWA and all of that. We'll do all of that on the Friday show. So that should give you guys a lot to look forward to. So make sure you got that bookmarked, okay? So, yeah, you know what, though? I got to tell you, off the break, by the way, I want to know what you guys had thought about tonight's NXT Takeover Night 1 event. I got 2 polls up right now asking you guys. So, sound off. Let me know what you thought. I got a poll up on Twitter at the RCWR Show. We also got the poll on the Communities tab. Communities tab over on YouTube.com / the RCWR Show. Again, YouTube.com / the RCWR Show. Click on the Communities tab and you'll see the poll that way. I'm keeping it simple. Please don't hit me up with there should be a middle option. No. We're keeping it very simplistic. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I want to know what you thought about NXT TakeOver tonight. So sound off, let me know. Now, it's still relatively early, but I am looking at the polling results so far on Twitter just to kind of whet my curiosity, because I'm always inquisitive and curious. Right now, I'm seeing 16.7% of you are giving TakeOver Night 1 a thumbs down, while 83.3% of you are giving TakeOver Night 1. 83.3% of you are giving it a thumbs up. All right, now I just put the poll up on YouTube, so I don't think you guys aren't that fast, but let me just see. I have a feeling, usually with the YouTube poll, I usually have to come around to it a couple of minutes later. Okay, no, you guys are getting the early vote kicking in. Okay, that's good. I respect that. I like that. Okay. I didn't even have that poll up for 10 minutes, and you guys are already voting on YouTube, so that's good. Right now, via YouTube, 100% of you are giving TakeOver a thumbs up. All right, so we'll poke our head at both of those polls a little bit later on during the show. That way we have, given everybody enough time to, really go through it and everything. So, but continue to sound off. You can definitely sound off with your comments as well, as I'll read them on air. I want to know what you guys have thought about Night 1 overall. Look, I thought that honestly, now I will say this because we do need to talk about the ratings and all that. That's one thing I will not get away from here on tonight's show. As most of you guys are accustomed to, I usually offer projections on the AEW and NXT ratings for this week, and it would only be fair for me to offer my projections, seeing as how this is pretty much NXT's final Wednesday night, as effective this coming Tuesday. That's going to be their new time slot going forward. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be good. But overall, I thought with what WWE did with TakeOver tonight, this just felt like a home run on so many cylinders. It felt like a fucking home run. It was a very strong show overall, and this was only night one. I can't help but wonder if what all they did tonight, and if the curiosity in the air, the buzz and everything, I just can't help but wonder if all of these things will be enough to have NXT ride off to that new Tuesday time slot with a rare victory for this Wednesday night final time slot of theirs. I'm not really sure right now. I mean, when you look at just the overall quality between it and Dynamite tonight, I mean, essentially from start to finish, NXT definitely, quality-wise, had the better product. They did. I just don't know if that's really going to reflect in the numbers. You know how I am, and I'm usually accurate here. So I had my NXT Takeover stand and deliver experience via Peacock. Something else I want to pick you all's brains on, which is what's going on with, your experience. How did you watch TakeOver tonight? I want to know, as, we all are starting to get, I won't say used to, but we're for right now, we're dealing with the hand. I think that's a better way to put it. We're dealing with the hand that we're being dealt with by WWE and Peacock right now, which is the fact that we cannot pause live programming. We cannot rewind live programming. And I know for some people, it's like, big fucking deal. You guys are so spoiled, blah, this, but it's like, no, you really got to understand where we are now with our technology, especially with what's been provided to us by our respected local cable satellite providers that make a big deal out of, hey, pause live TV when you want, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm a big fan of pausing live TV. I'm a huge fan of it. I don't care if it's a basketball game, if it's a football game. I don't care if it's a boxing match, wrestling. I don't care. If I'm watching something live, I love being able to pause, especially if I get a phone call, or hell, I might have a potential client that is texting me, calling me, or sending me an email. And I love being able to just pause right there on the spot, do what I need to do. Hell, maybe I need to use the bathroom. Maybe my dog wants to use the bathroom. I love being able to pause live TV and then come back, resume when I am ready. I also love when I'm in a position where I've let X amount of time lapse and I'm still watching live programming, but now I can just pretty much fast forward through all the commercials. Lord knows I do that every single Monday night to a certain degree, so I can just avoid all the silliness. But as it stands tonight, with regards to Peacock, we still cannot pause live programming. There's a big difference. I want to make sure we really stress this. It's one thing if you're going on Peacock and you're looking up old episodes of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or whatever. Yeah, you can pause that. You can rewind that and all that good stuff. I'm talking strictly about when WWE goes live with their programming on Peacock. Live programming. You cannot pause it. You cannot rewind it. You just pretty much, you got to sit there in that one sitting and you got to make sure you ain't missing nothing. That's pretty much how you got to do it right now. And it was interesting because I did a little bit of a detour tonight. And normally I've been watching it on my tablet or I have been watching it on my phone. So I'm either doing iOS or I'm doing my Android for Peacock within recent weeks. I decided to switch it up and actually try it out on the Xbox app. And I noticed tonight that via the Xbox app, it would freeze seemed like it would freeze maybe every 5 minutes. And when it would freeze, I would get this yellow circle ring just dead center. And like, okay, it's thinking, it's loading, it's trying to do something. And finally it would kick in. You know, I thought maybe I was going to have to force quit the app, but it would kick in after about maybe, God, it felt like an eternity, but I would say maybe about a 90-second delay at most. And then it would pretty much resume. It didn't skip frames, you know, so if you were at a particular point and you're going, oh man, I'm probably going to miss. No, you were going to pick up right where you left off, although depending on how long that freeze was, you could be 30 seconds behind, 2 minutes behind. You get what I'm saying? So I noticed those little type of things tonight. On the plus side, one thing that was kind of cool about watching Takeover tonight on Peacock, and I had asked you all this on social media, and shout out to those of you that were kind enough to share with me your experience. I wanted to know how many of you guys were actually watching Takeover on the USA Network versus Peacock. And I noticed early on when it came time for them to do their first commercial break for us Peacock users, the action had continued on Peacock, you know, so we didn't miss nothing. You know, they didn't do a picture in picture or PIP, as I like to call it. They didn't do any of that. There was just an awkward silence for about maybe 8 seconds while you were watching whatever was going on in the ring. In some instances, you would just get a black screen for about 8-10 seconds and then it would come back up. But the action just continued for us Peacock users. And I saw that there was some of you guys that said, nah, I'm actually watching via USA and I'm getting the picture in picture and I'm getting the silly little ads. And then in some instances, when there wasn't a PIP segment, it was just hard commercial break, right? You guys were like, nah, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I'm just seeing, you know, this. So I thought that was kind of cool the way WWE was trying to provide unique user experiences for Peacock users versus USA Network users. I thought that was kind of cool. You know what it reminded me of? I don't know how, man, I don't know how many of you guys were with the WWE Network way back when, but it reminded me so much of that first year to year and a half of the WWE Network. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. There used to be a time when after the WWE Network launched, WWE was really trying to do their best to give you a unique user experience. Remember that? They used to say to you, hey, while you're watching Raw, hop on your tablet and download the WWE app and get a unique viewing experience you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. Remember that? They used to always encourage that, especially when they were taking commercial breaks on the USA Network and all that. You know, it's like the action continues in the WWE app. Remember that? So I was kind of having shades of that tonight when I was doing my thing and all that. So that was kind of cool. But I'm curious if you guys had experienced any other technical issues for you Peacock users. So definitely sound off about it. Let me know. It kind of seems for the most part, majority of the WWE fans with regards to their criticism, and it's pretty much highlighting the main points of what I've been bringing up so far since we've all had to migrate to it and everything. But, you know, pretty good. Got to say another thing from this takeover event. Boy, was it nice to see the fans back in attendance or what? I mean, after we did what we did, what was that? Tuesday night with the Hall of Fame ceremony. You know, after we witnessed that and we all were just, oh man, what's going on with the with the oversaturation there of piped in crowd noises. Jesus, can we get a little bit more overkill? Can we do any more here? What the hell? That left a little bit of a bitter taste in many of our mouths. To go into tonight's takeover event and to see fans in attendance and to feed off of that infectious energy from the fans, I missed it tremendously. It's been a good minute since we've seen a nice big old pack of fans in an arena under the WWE umbrella and everything. So with regards to a major pay-per-view event and everything. So it was great having the fans be there and really being able to feed and feel off of their energy and everything, because it definitely was that pendulum swing that was so desperately missed, quite honestly. I know there's going to be a lot of people that's probably going to look at some of those people that were in attendance at TakeOver tonight, those that's going to be at TakeOver tomorrow night, because apparently they were live. They stressed that they were live tonight for this night one event. But just thinking about the takeovers and then going into Mania and then potentially the Raw after Mania, I would like to believe fans are probably going to be at that one as well. But I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be quick to point out criticism of the fans that decided they wanted to go participate in TakeOver, participate at WrestleMania and everything. I can just see it a mile away. I really, really can. But I wouldn't be surprised before people want to be so quick to jump to conclusions. Let's just take a step back and let's just, benefit of doubt. Let's just assume until we're told differently otherwise that the people that, were showing up to the takeover event, they got their vaccinations. They either got one or they got both vaccination doses. They're also practicing the best safety guidelines that they can do. They're wearing their mask and all that. They're making sure that as far as who they're going with, they're either going with a family member, loved one, close friend or whatever. At the end of the day, these young men, these women, this is a choice that they are deciding to make. This is what they want to do. This is how they want to spend, their weekend and everything. And it's quite simple. If we're that disgusted, for some of us fans out there, if we're that disgusted with some of the things that we're seeing of people that's attending these events, not just in WWE, but with, we got a simple decision to make, which is, okay, how much of that am I going to allow to influence me and my enjoyment of this product for the evening? Is it to the point I'm going to stop watching it, because that's how disgusted I am? Or can I just put that to the side, put my differences to the side and just get lost in the action? I hope people can just focus on the latter. I really, really do. So we had the Alice Cooper guitarist, Nia Strauss, badass guitarist. Love her fucking work. I've yet to actually pick up some of her CDs and all that, but I've definitely checked out enough of her work. Nita Strauss, I apologize. Nita Strauss. I've definitely checked out enough of her work off and on over the years. Sister got game. I loved hearing her perform the national anthem, getting things popping with TakeOver and everything. She did pretty damn good. It wasn't no Carlos Santana or anything like that, or George Benson, but I mean, she shredded it up. She fucking killed it with her interpretation and everything. I fucking loved it, I love the fact, you know what? Now, if you would have said to me, when I think about celebrity wings and all that other shit, we can be in agreement. Some of the celebrities we've seen get inducted in the WWE, you just kind of raise a little bit of an eyebrow here and there. But if you were to say something to me, if not this year with everything that went down with the Hall of Fame ceremony already, but next year or in about 3 years from now, you were to say to me, hey, Nita Strauss, she's going to go into the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. I would have no problem with it because, back me up, how many times has she stepped up to the plate and done some really cool shit for WWE? I mean, she definitely, she has like made herself available so many times working with WWE and its family. She's always giving glowing reviews and everything. I mean, hell, just recently she talked about how she would love to maybe one day wrestle for the WWE. Anything can and will happen, man. I don't put it past that young woman. Don't put it past her. She just turned 34 too, so it's not like, but I will say this, if she's going to do it, sadly she's got a short window to freaking do it, because sadly, and it's kind of fucked up when you think about it, because sadly when you look at that window of opportunity of wrestling for the women, it's a shorter shelf life, sadly, than for the men. I hope that's a stigma that can honestly change within our lifetime, because you got women that are well past their mid 30s. You got women that are in their early, mid, late 40s that can still go out there and fucking tear it up. So I hope that at least in our lifetime, that stigma that's currently going out there about the women, I think you guys are very well aware of that stigma. It's pretty much once you reach 35, 36, 37 and you're a woman, it's pretty much like, yeah, you're yesterday's news. Like, go sit down in your mom jeans and your kid or whatever, and like let the younger folks. It's a stupid little silly stigma, quite honestly. Something that, honestly needs to stop. First matchup of the evening, we got ourselves good old Toni Storm taking on Zoe Stark. Again, Toni Storm taking on Zoe Stark. Now, sadly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Sadly, I missed this match. Apparently, this match was part of the pre-show. A little bit bummed out about that. But I don't feel too bad, because actually while that match was on, I was in the middle of class. And I was hammering out the conclusion paragraph for my latest essay, as I am doing a piece on Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. And I was hammering it out and everything, had a little bit of a brain fart here and there, putting the piece together. And so by the time I got out, like, I didn't even think there was going to be a pre-show matchup. I just assumed, 8 o'clock, that's when the actual joint starts. It ain't going to be. But apparently it was Toni Storm taking on Zoe Stark. And as some of you guys know that check out the show regularly, I'm a big fan of Zoe Stark. I've told you that tremendously. Looked like Zoe Stark in an upset. She defeated Toni Storm. They went about 9 minutes, 52 seconds. So I actually want to try to find that match online, and I will definitely sound off more about that particular match. Probably most likely tomorrow night, since we're coming back to cover night 2 and everything. Actual pay-per-view card, did see all of that for night 1. Pete Dunne defeating Kushida. About 11 minutes of a matchup there. You know what? That really has set the tone for the takeover, as far as I was concerned. Two good guys just slugging it out. I fucking was behind this. I love this. Of all the matches on the card tonight, this definitely was one of my top 2 favorites. They brought the energy. These guys, a lot of fucking good energy in this. Definitely technical. I definitely had loved that. Well paced. Definitely well paced. Pete Dunne proving yet again why he is the motherfucking man and why he should be in the main event scene. Making a really damn good argument why he should potentially be the next NXT champion. Kushida coming along. I gotta tell you, ever since they decided to do a couple of tweaks there with Kushida, and, give him a little bit of a mean streak and everything. Ever since they decided to do some of those things, I gotta say, I've been enjoying Kushida a lot more. It's so interesting because I remember watching Kushida in New Japan, and I was, man, a big fan of his work. Huge fan. Especially loved it when he was doing his thing there with Alex Shelley and everything. Big fan. And when I first heard about the signing Kushida to WWE, I was happy, but at the same time, I couldn't help but wonder, okay, how much of New Japan Kushida is going to get lost in translation in the WWE universe? Like, even though I felt, okay, he's probably going to go through NXT first, which makes a lot of sense. And I definitely felt that Triple H and crew were going to do their very best to try to stay as true to what Kushida has been doing in other promotions, mainly in New Japan. I felt they were going to do their best to try to stay that course. But my whole thing was, how was it really going to click, not only in the WWE universe, but how was it going to click with WWE fans? Those were my trepidations. And I think we all could be in agreement. Kushida and the WWE there, it was, even in NXT, it was a bit off to a rocky start for him. So to spend all these months later and get to the point of where we are now, and to see and hear the fans and their reactions to Kushida, it was very refreshing, and at the same time, very validating from the standpoint of, because remember, this like this, other than having some of the actual wrestlers that make up the fans in attendance, like legit what we got tonight, what we're going to be getting for the next of these WWE shows, these are going to be actual real fans. These are real fans that's in attendance now, okay? So now it's, okay, playtime's over. Now we're really going to see, okay, what do the fans think about, where truly is their pulse here when it comes to this superstar? Yeah, you see a little something on social media. You see a little something in the forums. But what's the real deal once we get all past that and we see what's going on in the ring and we put actual paying customers there and they're pretty much yay or nay? Let's see what's really. And it was just so awesome to hear Kushida, really be accepted, and they too, the fans that is, really appreciating the new demeanor that's come about with Kushida within recent months and everything. So both men did pretty damn good in this matchup. I have no complaints about this matchup whatsoever. No complaints whatsoever. Both boys did pretty damn good. Really fucking proud of them. See, next matchup on the card for the evening. See, Gauntlet Eliminator. Bronson Reed versus Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis versus Isaiah Swerve Scott versus LA Knight, LA Law as I like to dub him, and Leon Ruff. All right, so Bronson Reed coming out of that as the winner, and he will go on to night 2 to face Johnny Gargano for that North American Championship, as it'll be on the line again, night 2. First off, happy for Bronson Reed. Legit. I'm happy for Bronson Reed. He's got a great look about him. He gives me a nice throwback vibe. Quite honestly, he kind of, he reminds me a little bit of a couple of guys. He's got a little bit, when I look at him, and I just think about his move set and just everything in general. He reminds me a little bit of Brodus Clay to a certain degree. Brodus Clay mixed in with a little bit of, for me, what I see, what he reminds me of, a little bit of Tugboat, a little bit of Vader. He's got a little bit of, he's got a little bit of. It's one other wrestler. His name, I can see his face and everything. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it out, sadly. The name's gonna come to me when I least fucking expect it. But he's got some interesting elements going on there. Does that Bronson Reed? But it's a nice fucking throwback. And I mean that in the most complimentary way. And it's so refreshing to see, let alone a big man, be able to come in there, be able to move the way that he can move. That guy is very fucking agile. Very fucking agile. I see nothing but great potential in Reed. A lot of fucking potential in him. So to see him get this, I don't have a problem with it. I gotta tell you though, I can't help but scratch my head and wonder a little bit what's going on there with LA Knight, because when it's counted the most in the clutch moments so far that LA Knight has been part of the NXT roster, he's essentially choked. And so I really can't help but wonder here. It's kind of like what I had said earlier in the night when after I saw what went down with this match, and I put it quite bluntly. I said, wow, so it's kind of coming as if LA Knight is becoming a Elias Light 2.0. You know the promise, you can see it, and you can literally grab it, and just with the way things are kind of kicking off so far, it's a little bit, I want to believe that there is a plan, and it's like stay the course. we'll see where things go. But like when I'm seeing him in these clutch moments and just continuing to come up short, I just can't help but go, okay, we got to be careful here. We got to tread a little lightly here, because, we're kind of getting to that point now where if this trend with LA Knight continues, then you've essentially kind of killed him from out the gate. And that's kind of like the last thing you want to do, right? Now, keeping all of that in mind, I think things are going to come full circle come night 2, personally. And here's the reason why. Remember during the match, at one point, when LA Knight was getting ready to get in there and everything, he was talking his hot trash and shit. It was actually Bronson Reed that grabbed him by the back of the head and tossed LA Knight into the ring and everything. And pretty much you had all the brawling and shit that was going down. And then remember ultimately how he got eliminated, he being LA Knight. If I recall right, Bronson Reed was actually the one that eliminated him. So kind of keeping all of that in mind. Actually, you know what? No. Let me think about it. So I'm looking at my notes here real quick. Let me look at my notes here real quick. Yeah, hang on. No, yeah, I'm thinking it right. So you already got that built in, at least for the past couple of weeks. You got that built-in rivalry between Reed and Knight. So kind of keeping that in mind, I hope come night 2, Bronson Reed actually becomes the new North American champion. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be some fuckery involved. And I think it's going to come from... I truly believe it's going to come in the form of LA Knight. I think LA Knight is going to seek some type of retribution for what Bronson Reed did to him tonight. And he's going to try to extract that night 2. Gargano pretty much retains that way. LA Knight, Reed, they continue on. They do their own little thing and everything. Look, I don't want to see that happen. I'm sure some of you are probably shaking your head going, nah. But I think that's exactly how things are going to play out. We'll see what happens. But everybody looked pretty damn good in this matchup too. Mad fucking shout out particularly to Isaiah Swerve Scott. Isaiah Swerve Scott. Night in, night out. He's going in there and he is just continuing on a weekly basis. He continues to not only impress the hell out of me, but he continues to win me over more and more as a fan. And I'm telling you, man, as far as having a face for your NXT division, he's a good representation. He is. I definitely see him at some point, for as long as he's down there in NXT. I definitely see him ultimately becoming a North American champion. Just think, this guy is 30 years old. He's at his pinnacle right now, at the pinnacle of his career right now, and definitely a journeyman in his own respected right, because he's been at it for a good number of years and everything. But he is damn fucking impressive, man. Damn fucking impressive. Whether you want to talk CZW, you want to talk MLW, you want to talk Lucha Underground. This guy, just the way he wrestles, it's always entertaining. Always fucking entertaining seeing him in action. Whether he's involved in a one-on-one matchup, or it's a triple, or whatever, handicap, whatever the case may be. As long as you know that he's on that card, it's going to be fucking entertaining. But he stood out to me the most in this match, as well as Bronson Reed. Both of those guys, really, really damn good outshining performances tonight. Definitely got to give them their respective props. Hey, you guys been enjoying the show so far? If you have, do me a huge favor. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go out of your way and you hit that like notification button, click the subscribe, and make sure you click on the bell for all notifications so you know about more content that's going to come your way. And I apologize about the graphic, by the way. Let me go ahead and change that right now for you guys. Bear with me a quick second here. Let's do that, and then let's where is it here? Because we're not talking AEW. There you go. So we'll leave it naked for tonight, and I'll come up with a really cool graphic that we can use on tomorrow's show. Let's see. Next matchup. Where are we at now? Next matchup. Let's see. Where are we at here? Yeah, the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Walter defending against Tommaso Ciampa. First off, happy to see Tommaso Ciampa decided, you know what? I need a razor. I want to go nice, clean-shaven, bald for this matchup here, man. I want to be nice and natural. That's awesome. I loved it. I loved it. I don't know what was going on with him growing the hair there. Maybe he did it out of curiosity. Maybe that's what it was. And I can definitely relate. I can still grow a nice full set of hair, even though my hairline has gone back a little bit. It's kind of stopped where it is now, but I can still grow out a full set of hair. But I prefer just being bald and everything. I'm not sure what was going on with Tommaso Ciampa there for those couple of months with the hair. Maybe he was doing it out of curiosity. Maybe he's getting some treatment. I don't know what it is, but it's like you spend so much time looking at Tommaso Ciampa through the years. You're just used to him with the bald look. So it was nice to see him come out there looking like a I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. But this match for me, ever since it was first announced, I just always felt it was one-sided. I'm going, wait a minute, Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa? Like, this is like Grey Hawk versus Multiple Man, or this is like fucking, I don't know, this is like fucking Thanos taking on Popeye the Sailor Man. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, I knew it was gonna be a very physical, very hard-hitting, kind of brawl type of match. But at the same time, I just felt, we'll look at Walter, And if I had any criticism about this particular match, honestly, I would just say that in how Walter was booked in this match, I wasn't quite fond of the fact that Walter got off his feet so easily against Tommaso. You know what I mean? Because, this guy, Walter, has not been the NXT United Kingdom champion for as long as he's been champion. I mean, it's a long ass reign so far, and for me, I'm just going, okay, if we're going to eventually have Walter come off his feet from Tommaso, fucking work it, fucking milk it, like really, really tell that great psychology story and how Tommaso is really trying to break down Walter here. And I just kind of felt as though that psychology really wasn't intact when you're looking at this match. It kind of felt like whoever had booked this match, they were trying to have Tommaso really come out as this, no, he is on that same level as Walter, right? In more ways than one. Yeah, never mind the fact that there is a significant height difference, a little bit of a weight difference as well. Never mind those things, it don't matter because this is NXT. Nothing else matters, so I really did not like the way this match was essentially booked. I think the better psychology that they should have had going into this, I wouldn't have mind seeing Tommaso, okay, this big dude, I can't really be taken, that far back by this big man because as big as he is, he ain't slow. He definitely has speed on his side. So I got to tread lightly here. But I would have loved to see the story be told of Tommaso really trying to use speed, his agility, his endurance. I would have loved to see him, his agility, very agile and all. I would have loved to see him try to use all that to his advantage and really getting Walter, really chopping him down to size. Then at one point maybe focusing on the limb, and then, they were kind of missing that type of treatment with Walter. That for me was just the most head scratching of all. It was, don't get me wrong, guys, it was definitely a good match. No doubt about it. It was a good match. It was just the psychology, because you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, okay, you know what? If this was Tommaso versus Johnny Gargano, okay, sure, I'm there. If this was Tommaso Ciampa versus LA Knight, Velveteen Dream, there's a guy we hadn't seen in a good minute, huh? If this was maybe Kylie O'Reilly or Roderick Strong, Balor. Look at all of those names that I just put out there, and they're all essentially kind of close to the same height, and you feel where I'm coming from, so to a certain degree, just kind of, now look, I don't really watch NXT UK like that. It's rare that I watch NXT UK, but the little bit that I've seen of NXT UK, the little bit that I've seen of my man Walter, I know enough to know, okay, so he's basically like the UK, he's like the UK Brock Lesnar, basically. Okay, cool. And for me, I just really wish that, okay, let's really have this guy go in here tonight, and let's, he really wasn't booked that smart. Walter, I feel he really wasn't, I don't want to go long-winded and sound redundant, but I believe you guys understand my point. And for those of you particularly that saw the match, some of those elements that I'm talking about. But a good match between both of the men, nonetheless. I don't think really it was a shocker to see Walter retain the NXT United Kingdom Championship. I mean, pretty much everybody that I saw leading up to tonight that were given their predictions, I didn't see anybody go with Tommaso. So, I mean, this was pretty much just a foregone conclusion that Walter was going to get this. Closing moments of the match, Walter goes in with a power bomb on Ciampa, rolls Ciampa into another power bomb, then pins him, gets a near fall. Walter then follows it up, destroys the hell out of him with a Nelson Plex, and pretty much got the retain there with the chop and everything. That's pretty much how he retained the championship. So we got another vignette of that cute little dog. As Frankie Monet is going to be appearing on Tuesday's NXT. All right, so, now we know Frankie Monet. Now, this had escaped me. You guys got to forgive me. I wasn't sure if this had resonated last week because the one graphic I saw was "See you April 13th, Frankie." And I was under the impression, oh, okay, the dog's name is Frankie, and the dog is saying, "See you all on Tuesday, everybody." Oh, okay, cool. But it turns out, no, that is the name of the newest WWE NXT superstar, Frankie Monet. And apparently this is the new name that Taya Valkyrie is going under. I'm not really sure how I feel about the name change. I'm not, you know what? And my message to everybody that may be a bit irritated, upset at the fact that Taya isn't going to be going in under the Taya Valkyrie name. Don't get all bent out of shape. Please don't. You kind of have to, we kind of learned the hard way. Look at what happened there with the Viking Raiders there, the Viking experience, just kind of, name is a name. It's what you do in the ring and just overall, that's what matters the most. So we'd be here all night agreeing Frankie Monet, that's the best name you can come up with for Taya. We can be in agreement. We would come up with better names for her, but this is the name that they're going to have her run with. On a side note, I think it's fucking hilarious that cute dog. I love that dog, by the way. I really do. I think it's cute that, by the way, you can follow the dog on social media. Dog actually has its own social media pages. Taya Valkyrie is still under Taya Valkyrie on her social handles, so you can find the information for the dog that way. If need a little pick me up while you're at work or whatever, you're dealing with some Debbie Downer shit, just look at a couple of photos of the dog or a couple of videos. It'll put a smile on your face. Trust me. That's what I normally do whenever I'm feeling a little sad or whatever. I'll usually look at some funny little videos of maybe kids playing with their pets, or I'll just look at pets. I saw a funny video today actually where there was a cat that was entertaining itself by grabbing a fishing pole, and it had like a little toy on the little hook end of it, and the cat brilliantly, it was actually holding up the fish pole like an actual human. And while the fish pole, while it had elevated the fish pole, it hurried up. It was chasing after the little toy that was at the hook, and it just kept doing that over and over, like hilarious shit. But I think it's funny that Taya Valkyrie's dog has essentially gotten more camera time than Aleister Black, Humberto Carrillo, Keith Lee, within recent weeks. It's kind of funny when you think about it. I mean, that dog is really becoming the new MVP, and the dog is apparently going to be getting a lot more airtime coming up soon, man. It's like, right on. I ain't hating. I am not hating. NXT Tag Team Championship match. Grizzled Young Veterans taking on Legado del Fantasma versus MSK. MSK coming out as your new NXT Tag Team Champions. You know what, man? Fucking awesome. It's funny too, because I pay very close attention to, who's saying what on social media and everything. And it's funny looking at certain people, and I'm not like, this isn't directed towards anybody. Like, if I'm gonna call somebody out, I got no problem calling somebody out. I don't. Okay, so, but I'm not saying what I'm saying to take shots at anybody. But I was aware of how some people, were kind of looking at this and they're all on the MSK bandwagon and everything. And it's like, oh, fuck you. It's like, fuck you. It's like, where were you when these guys were tearing it up at Impact Wrestling? And you had guys like me that were putting them over. And even I had the heart to admit that, as the Rascals, they didn't win me over overnight with that 70s show, weed segments. They didn't win me over with that shit overnight, but their in-ring ability definitely won me over while they were in Impact. And I definitely had sung their praises. I sung their fucking praises. But were you paying attention to me and other guys that were, hey, these rascal dudes, you really should be paying attention to them, because if they ever break away from the WWE, look out. We tried to tell you about these guys, but sadly we're in this day and age where we got people that there's just certain wrestling promotions they just will not check out. They just refuse to check out. Because whatever. You fill in the blank. That's going to be probably the reason, right? For some, and this may sound quite silly, but you have some that are, man, that show's not even averaging 100,000 viewers. It's not able to get, at least 200,000 viewers each week. I want to be associated with that. Can you just imagine if, I had people on my timeline asking me, why am I watching that shit? That shit's for losers, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be associated with that. Yeah, you got some people that roll like that, but it's nice to know that there are definitely those of us that try to make a best conscious effort to, at least dip our hands, see what's going on in other promotions. And, so, I mean, seeing MSK become the NXT Tag Champions, very ecstatic for them. And, to kind of follow up on what I said on social media, and I got to give a lot of props to Triple H, particularly because Triple H, you talk about a man that really took his time and introducing this new tag team to the NXT fan base / the WWE universe. And the way he has just slowly, just been building these guys up and everything. And to take them on this great magical carpet ride that culminated in seeing them crowned NXT Tag Champions. As far as first major titles to actually hold under the WWE umbrella, and they become your new NXT champions. That is just fucking amazing. It is a great build-up. One of the most impressive build-ups I've seen of somebody coming into the WWE within recent memory. They did a Triple H and crew. They got to pat themselves on the back for how they did MSK, because I know bullshit. They did a phenomenal job with those guys. If I were to kind of think about, okay, when was the last time, Lee, you saw a really nice, good buildup of somebody, coming into the WWE and everything? When was the last time you saw a really good buildup that had you pretty damn excited? And for me, I would have to answer that question a couple of different ways. I think the first question I would ask is just, in general, within recent years, because that's when it can get a little bit tricky. If we're talking within recent years, I probably would have to go with the way Samoa Joe was booked when he first came through WWE. I had serious concerns about Samoa Joe. I just really was not sure where things were going to be going with Samoa Joe. And then once I kind of got a little bit of a taste, okay, all right, you got me curious, and and then it was just, it just rolled on after that. That for me was probably like within recent memory. I would say Samoa Joe, and just seeing the way, as well as Kevin Owens, because I remember how much of a big Kevin Steen fan I was some years back. I would also, so it's a tie. Samoa Joe, Kevin Steen. If you want to go recent memory, I would go with that. If you want to talk like, maybe just in general, I really got to fucking, I have to say, let me come back. Come back to me on that one. Seriously. But no, they did pretty good, man. MSK, they did fucking good. I fucking love this. This was a great tag match. The right tag team went over as well. My honest opinion, the right tag team went over. Look, nothing personal against the GYV, but I mean, like I said a couple of weeks ago, once you get past that, it's like, okay, besides that, what else you got? And they're good in the ring. They are, but just personality wise, not quite, still in the oven. It's still in the oven. It ain't quite ready just yet. Legado del Fantasma, they're okay. They all right. If you maybe want to have them be a main antagonist and have a top baby face little tag team chase after, they're good for that, for a hot little minute there. Or if you want to hot shot the title in the storyline, they're good for that, but nah, MSK, this was the right move. They pulled the trigger on the right team. It was a good smart move. One more match to talk about, the NXT Women's Championship match. Io Shirai defending against Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel becoming your new NXT Women's Champion. This was the right move. This was the right move. Dakota Kai got banned early on during this matchup, so didn't have to worry about any fuckery going down in this one. Closing moments of the match on the outside of the ring, Io Shirai managed to connect with a moonsault. She then follows it up, doing a double stomp around the owl. Climbs the skull of the on top of the stage area there. Does a sweet ass dive cross body. Io goes in for another moonsault eventually. Action gets back into the ring and everything. That only gets her a 2 count. Outside the ring, Raquel hits the one-arm power bomb. Wasn't able to fully capitalize on it though, and try to pick up the dub. Once the action eventually gets its way into the ring again, she's talking trash to Shirai, and it was fucking sweet too, because she hit Shirai like inside out. I think there was like a lariat. A lariat. I'm trying to remember who did the lariat. I think I think Gonzalez might have did the lariat. That then got followed up with a one-arm power bomb inside. That connected. Fucking sweet. Get yourself a new NXT Women's Champion in Raquel Gonzalez. Girls went about almost 15 minutes right there. Good, strong, dominating performance by Raquel Gonzalez. It's so refreshing to see even more people. It's growing by the week. More and more people really becoming big fans of Raquel, really enjoying her work. They're seeing what a lot of us had saw early on from a couple of years ago. You saw the potential there. It just needed a little bit more seasoning, give it some time. Look, with regards to Io Shirai, she was a great NXT Women's Champion for what it was worth. She really was. But she was starting to run her course as champion. It was really starting to get to that point where, all right, we're starting to hit a little bit of a dead end here. The timing is very, very good, especially considering the fact that NXT is now going to be moving to Tuesdays and everything. Look, you want for there to be new excitement. You want for there to be a new energy in the air. You want to create some new buzz. You definitely want to do your very best to not only convince the fans that's been with you all these weeks, all these months, checking out the NXT product. Hey, join us on our new move over here on this night. But you definitely also want to try to maybe reach out to those casual wrestling fans, especially the ones that might have been doing the channel flipping on the Wednesday nights. And they decided, I'm just going to stay with AEW, nothing personal NXT, but yeah, I'm just going to stay over here. You want to try to do what you can to put yourself in the best position possible where, hey, we kind of got a couple of resets going on over here. So yeah, you should come on over, check us out on this new night. So it was a smart move. It was honestly a very smart move. This was inevitable. When it's all said and done, it was inevitable. It was the right move, best move. Raquel as the NXT champion. I'm loving this. Now I can't help but wonder what kind of friend and storyline is Dakota Kai gonna be. Is she gonna be the kind of friend that at first she's gonna do everything that she can to support Raquel, or eventually is it gonna end up being a case where Raquel kind of feels in storyline that, or not Raquel, but Dakota kind of feels that in storyline Raquel owes her for all the success that's essentially come her way as a result of Raquel associating herself with Dakota Kai, and we see the ultimate betrayal. Is that maybe something that could eventually happen down the road? There's a lot of interesting elements in there that you kind of got to consider. Not to mention this freshens up the rivalries big time with your new champion. There's so many directions you can go now. You can now go Raquel, Shotzi Blackheart. Eventually, you could go Raquel, Zoe Starks. You could eventually go Raquel and Taya Valkyrie. The combinations are fucking endless. You can even do Amber Moon and Raquel. You could easily do that. Great combinations that you can do. Definitely great combinations that you can do. Good dominating performance though. Really, really proud for Raquel, man. This was a long time fucking coming. Commentating team did all right. I miss Morrow though. I gotta be honest. I miss Morrow. What's the guy's name? Vic Joseph. There's a lot of points there where he's just screaming, and it's like, dude, why are you yelling? Mellow out, my man. Chill. Be mellow, my man. What's going on? Some corny, lame ass jokes. Yeah, it's just. Wade and Beth are okay though. I have no problem with Wade and Beth. They fucking deliver as always. I got no problem with them whatsoever. See, other than that, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that I missed here in talking about night one of NXT Fallout here. See, we've been at it now for almost an hour. God, I love it when we got these recaps that are this short. If only all our pay-per-view recaps could be this short. That would be something, right? Sound off. Let me know what you guys had thought about the pay-per-view. I'm going to swing on back one more time while we're still live on the air. And I want to look at what you all had to say in the polling areas here. So let me see what you guys had to say on Twitter at the RCWR Show. And let's look at the polling results there. Let's do a new refresh here. All right, so on Twitter, we got 12.5% of you that's giving Takeover, Stand and Deliver a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 87.5% of you are giving it a thumbs up. And let's take a look at the community section one more time here. Bear with me. Community poll here. Hang on. And let's see what you guys had to say. There we go. Community poll. Where are you guys? There we go. All right, guys. Let's see what you had to say here via YouTube here. 13% of you gave Takeover a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 88% of you gave it a thumbs up. All right, so you've heard what's going on via YouTube and you've heard what's going on via Twitter. Pick the poll that you feel best represents you, okay? As I always like to say, you don't have to spam out and vote on both. Just pick the one you feel best reflects. Yeah, majority. Yeah, I'm with the majority over here on this poll. Pick that. And I'll definitely follow up on this poll for Thursday night when we cover night 2 of NXT Takeover Fallout here. Hey, I do want to take this time out and give a shout out to our Patreon members. Remember, patreon.com/RCWR Show. Check out bonus audio video content you won't be able to find anywhere else. Shout out to our Patreon members, Gino Morgan, J.D. Davis, Justin Rostock, Freddie. Shout out to Michael Wolf, Tony Bing Gaming. You want the latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Marvel's Avengers, Tony Bing Gaming. Check him out on YouTube. He has a Patreon paywall as well. Same handle. Also, shout out to my good friend over at Wishful Walking Videos. Also, shout out to my good friends over at Big Sky Wrestling. Shout out to them. I know right before the pandemic had hit, Big Sky Wrestling, they were looking to make some moves and everything, and then the pandemic happened. But I know they're trying to plot some stuff out. They're definitely going to be getting back on the saddle again, as I'm sure a lot of independent wrestling promotions will be eventually. And while I'm on air for a little bit, this is you all's time now. If you guys want to sound off a little bit more about your highs, lows for tonight's pay-per-view event and takeover, you can sound off. And otherwise, as far as programming notes go, all right, so Thursday night, we're going to be back for night 2 of NXT Takeover Fallout. That should be solid. And in case you don't know the card for night 2, here's how night 2 is looking. Night 2, it's going to be Amber Moon, Shotzi Blackheart, defending the NXT Women's Tag titles against the Ways, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Jordan Devlin, the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, takes on Santos Escobar, the interim NXT Cruiserweight Champion. It's a ladder match to determine the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Johnny Gargano defends his North American Championship against Bronson Reed. Adam Cole takes on Kylie O'Reilly, unsanctioned match. Finn Balor defends the NXT Championship against Karrion Kross. So, I mean, that is going to be a killer fucking night. I'm looking forward to that. So, night 2, NXT TakeOver. We'll be talking about that on Thursday night. That'll be exclusive on all the platforms. Just search the RCWR Show. Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, as soon as SmackDown goes off the air, I'll be live. We'll talk SmackDown Fallout. I'll give you my thoughts on AEW's Dynamite, Elevation, Dark. We'll also talk NWA Power. See any headlines that we need to get into. We'll also go over some WrestleMania predictions. We'll get into that on Friday as well. So that's going to be a loaded show. Looking forward to that. See, Saturday. What's going on Saturday? I'm trying to think if we're doing anything. Yeah, Saturday, as a matter of fact, night 1 of WrestleMania coverage. So we'll be live after night 1 of WrestleMania wraps up. Sunday, night 2 of WrestleMania. We'll be right back here. Like I told you guys, we're going to be live every single night, all the way through to next Monday night, April the 12th. We'll be live all the way up until then, covering that Raw after WrestleMania Fallout. So keep it right here, man. Load it up. I love this time of the year. It's good shit. I'm not tired yet, surprisingly. I still feel pretty damn good, believe it or not. And that's despite the fact that I've kind of had a little bit of a hectic schedule with regards to the schooling and all that. Work not so much because I actually have a light schedule this week with work, but it's nice to be able to, do this. I also got to finish working out the kinks, but I'm going to be sitting down probably sometime Thursday before Takeover, and I'm going to try to finalize some really cool prizes that we're going to try to make be up for grabs as we go into WrestleMania weekend. So stay tuned for that. All right, that should be fucking awesome. All right, and in the meantime, I'm going to say we're going to stick a fork in it, and we're going to call this DONE done. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts, including on Amazon Music, also on Audible. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. One more time, you guys enjoyed yourselves. Make sure you haven't done so already. You hit that like button, click on the subscribe, hit that bell notification, check all your settings. Make sure you don't miss out on all the great content that comes your way on a weekly basis. And that is going to do it. So until night 2, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Adios.